What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss an extremely exciting upcoming featherweight matchup this Saturday in the UFC. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly to help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. We got C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez, taking on the UFC newcomer Austin Bashi, the undefeated prospect, in an upcoming fight, man, that just a lot of people aren't really talking about. Super under the radar, could possibly be fight of the night. You got C-Rod, who is trying to make his home at 145, coming off of that loss to Julian Juicy J. Erosa. I mean, Christian Rodriguez, even though, yeah, he's coming off of a loss, the ceiling for this guy, he really doesn't have one. The sky is the limit for his type of talent. He was putting in a lot of work on Juicy J. He was being very reckless, but he was also finding a lot of success within that recklessness, finding this, just utilizing a really good jab, really known for his wrestling though. But coming out of Rufus Sport, they are a striking gym, and he seems to be really rounding out his striking very well. And yeah, he did get subbed at the end of that first round against Juicy J, but he was finding a lot of success in that fight. There was a lot of positives to take away in that loss, right? Before that, he had the split decision with Isaac Dalgarian. A lot of people did not agree with that decision. It was a very close fight, but it's just one of those, just back and forth fights where it's not a robbery. You can give it to either guy. It was a split decision. One of the judges did think it was Isaac, but the one thing I want to highlight here is the fight with Raul Rosas Jr. here with C-Rod, right? All the adversity, massive underdog going into that fight. It was a pay-per-view. What was it? UFC 2, was it 97? It was UFC 287. So it's been some time, but under the bright lights against the guy where everybody's counting you out against, he was able to go out there, stay patient, weather the storm, and pick up his own fight his own pace, and earn a solid unanimous decision victory. And that fight I became a huge fan of Christian Rodriguez in that fight because he showed a lot. With all that pressure, big pay-per-vieiew, you haven't done a lot yet within the UFC. I think at that point he was already 1-1. So it was only his third fight within the UFC, fighting this guy who everybody's already calling like the possible next youngest champion ever. And he went out there and shut him out. Stayed patient and shut his game down. And C-Rod has a very good knack of being able to shut down his opponent's game plan and then kind of work in his own, right? And against Austin Bashi, who 13-0, coming in with a lot of hype behind him. I watched his fight against Askar, and looked fucking good, dangerous, strong, fast, could do it everywhere, takedowns, good striking. Had issues, I thought, with his head movement. I thought when he was going in and out of his strikes, his entering and his exits of his combinations, he was leaving his chin up, open, not a lot of head movement. And I think that lack of experience, can definitely be taken advantage of here by Christian Rodriguez. But Austin Bashi, man, he's 13-0 for a reason. A lot of submissions in his own right. So it's not just he's got good fluid striking, good footwork, but he can also get the fight to the ground and find the submission as well. His fight against Askar too, he showed that he can really just do it all. He searches for the victory, very confident. He was really grinding his way. He was really trying to make Askar pay in that fight. He was taking some shots, so he showed a good chin. But I think once you reach these guys who have already been there and fought these dudes who have already those battle-tested chins, that's where we're going to have to see the growth of Austin Bashi here. And I think a very, very tough debut against C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez in this fight. Sorry about the stuttering. This one just has me really hyped up. But I think the experience here, I think Christian's patience, him coming off of that loss at 145, you could tell it bothered him, but it doesn't really seem to be, I don't think it's going to affect his performance in this fight or his game plan. I think that maybe he'll learn from maybe pressing a little too much and getting caught in that submission. But we're definitely going to see here in this fight because Austin Bashi, 13-0, big prospect. He's going to have a lot of people coming up and supporting him as well. I remember in that fight against Askar, there's a lot of people in the stands going for Austin Bashi in that fight. So he's got a lot of people in his corner, undefeated, a lot of confidence, and he definitely is well-rounded. But I think that the experience, and I really do think that Christian Rodriguez, I think that he can, he said 145 is his permanent home, so I'm curious to see how far he can take that. But over at Rufus Sport, where it's a striking gym, and with him being kind of a wrestling guy, I think that's a really good recipe for him to really round out his skills and become a contender at 145 one day. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today. I got Christian Rodriguez. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, though, because Austin Bashi, he seems to be a real up-and-coming killer. Oh, and last thing, I think Austin's kind of a little undersized for 145. That may not end up being his home, and I think a loss here against C-Rod, the UFC might throw him down to 135 after that as well. I'm curious to see where Bashi fits in at featherweight. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. That's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.